I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life.
Gosh, people will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
With your long-forgotten name, we call upon you.
We call upon you.
In the words of the unspeakable language, we call upon you.
We call upon you.
By the spilt blood of the wicked, who walk upon this world, sprouting the words of false idols, we call upon you.
We call upon you.
On the land of the dead harvest, that which brings the earth itself into your service, Yamal, we call upon you.
We call upon you. We call upon you. We call upon you.
Yamal calls upon you.
The Sprouting, a Call of Cthulhu actual play podcast by Blighthouse Studio. Find us on your podcatcher of choice.
Hey, Jenny here. Before we get started, I wanted to let those of you in the Chicago area know I'll be playing at Beat Kitchen on Friday, October 21st. You can snag tickets at beatkitchen.com. Hope to see you there, and I hope you wear fangs.
Hey, what about me?
What about you?
Well, it's just that I'm going to be in New York City in case anybody wants to see me there, but I can't sing. I can talk about gender and sexuality.
Ooh.
So, if you're in New York City and you're into that kind of thing, you should come on down to Blue Stockings on the 21st of October, where I will be participating in the 7th annual New York City Intersex Awareness Day event. Downtown Blue Stockings. You can find all the details on my social media.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now that everyone knows where we'll be on October 21st, let's get into it. Welcome to Buffering the Vampire Slayer, a podcast where we're watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer one at a time. I am Jenny Owen Youngs.
And I'm Kristen Russo, and this week we'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 5, Never Kill a Boy on the First Date.
What a great rule of thumb. Stay tuned at the end of this podcast this week and every week for a recap song that we'll be writing and recording and editing onto the end of this episode. And wow, what a great time to be alive. Before we start talking about Never Kill a Boy on a First Date, we have an important addendum to last week's episode. We forgot something, and we are deeply shamed.
Yes, I am deeply shamed because I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like it was my responsibility to remember the Sexual Tension Award. It's my favorite thing. I've really carried the torch, and I let it drop last week. But we're here. I have a Sexual Tension Award.
I can't wait to hear who
is it. Just
the
like,
recipient.
are you never going to have one? Is it just me? I dub.
I will disagree with you if I must, but usually I think I'll probably side with you.
Okay, well, I've done some thinking, and for season 1, episode 4, my Sexual Tension Award goes to Xander and Blaine.
Because of their time together in the cage.
Yeah, because two dudes talking about how they totally aren't virgins, locked in a cage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sexual tension there.
Agree.
Plus, I like to keep it as gay as I can.
I know you do.
So, yeah. Do you accept?
I totally accept.
Great.
There was like straw at the bottom of that cage, right?
Yeah, there was. Hey, it was kind of like a giant hamster cage.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, we've moved past the cage.
And how?
Okay, so something is different in the room today.
It feels different.
It feels different in here. It looks different in here.
Very different.
And that is because today we have our very first guest. Writer, cartoonist, artist, KATE LETH with us.
What?
Hi.
It's me.
I feel like in the edit, we need to put a giant swell of applause there.
Yes.
For KATE, because that's what I felt in my
just
heart.
like the sound of confetti poppers and people just weeping. If you can catch the sound of single tears, but from a multitude of people. That'd be just like
Yeah, I've
really
got a
solid.
whole library of that
Perfect.
ready to go.
That's great. That's awesome.
Every time someone comes over, you haven't been asked to give your single tear recording yet?
You'll be doing that before you leave.
Great.
I feel like there's so many reasons to be excited to have you here with us, Kate.
Oh, thank you.
One of them is that you brought so many fun toys for us.
Truly.
I was really excited. I am very honored as well. Like being in the room of this podcast is like,
Wow.
I feel the power.
Was it what you imagined? Does it look like where you thought this podcast
I mean, I
was
thought
recorded?
there would be like possibly more cloaks and candles, but it's pretty close.
Jenny
other
does
than that.
have a what do you call that lamp? That ionic pink lamp?
The salt lamp?
The salt lamp. Yeah, she has a Himalayan salt lamp.
That would cast a reddish glow. That would make you more comfortable.
Well, I mean, we've got sort of that deep orange hue going on here. The lighting is very choice. I'm very happy. It is not want for anything. But yeah, I came prepared. I brought goodies.
Yeah.
so many things.
I can't decide if I want to start by talking about the episode or start by talking about what I just found in one of the goodies that you brought with you.
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this choice lays on your shoulders.
Great. Just like the sexual tension award.
Well, I have some entries in this episode for that too, because Lord knows I live and die by gay sexual tension in TV shows.
Nice. Well, okay. So one of the things that Kate brought is the script to the entire season 1. Like,
well, the first 6 episodes.
Oh, the first 6 episodes.
Yes, which is pretty exciting.
It just arrived in the mail.
Well, my boyfriend ordered it because, as you do, he found it for like a secondhand for like $3 on the internet.
Oh my God.
And apparently we're buying the rest of them. So we're gonna do that. I'm pretty excited.
So
It's the actual shooting scripts too that they used, which is really neat because sometimes it actually differs from what's on the show because stuff changes on the day or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was very accurate. I was flipping through, and the lines that I read were the lines that I had just seen from this episode. And like right after we finished watching, I was flipping through, and like everybody was off doing their thing, and I flipped to a page that said Cordelia and a Cordette enter.
And I hadn't seen that, and I am dying.
A Cordette.
Cordette.
A fucking Cordette.
It's pretty good.
It's so good.
That is like what I aspire. Like I would like a title like that. My business card should say like Kristen Russo.
Do you know how easy it would be for us to make like pins that just said Cordette, and then we can wear them? Because listen, I want to make that happen.
Okay. Yes. Yes. It was like you took what I wanted and made it what I actually wanted. I was I want to be it. I want a business card. What do I want, Kate?
You want a pin or a button or a patch or like a crown or a tattoo, something just to really solidify your feelings about Cordelia, which I absolutely share and want to get into eventually in this episode because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, well, maybe you could start by telling us like something about your relationship to Buffy.
Well, it's intense. It's long running. So, okay, I'm trying and boil it down because I mean, I could talk for like several hours. But I started watching Buffy in real time when it was airing, probably early into season 2, I think. I'm from Canada, and the place that I grew up, we got Buffy a day early for some reason. Because it was still on the WB when it was first airing. And on ASN, Atlantic something network, literally, it was on Monday nights instead of Tuesday nights. So we always got it first, but this was also sort of before the internet at large.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we could spoil it or whatever. Anyway, so that always felt really special. But yeah, I think we started watching it in the beginning of season 2 and then sort of went back and watched season 1. And then, yeah, watched it every week until the end, the bitter end, and then started reading the comics and watching Angel and like, all of those things. I have a Buffy tattoo.
What?
Yeah, I have a tattoo of Mr. Pointy on my arm.
Oh,
right
yes,
here.
that's right.
Yeah.
Jenny showed me this.
It's no big deal.
We'll have to document that also for social media so they can see your Mr. Pointy.
And in junior high school, I would say my very first, maybe second website, because I think my first website was about Digimon. Was really into that for a period of time. And then maybe Buffy was before that, actually. I had a website on GeoCities called Kate's Buffy Haven. Back when GeoCities was like, and this is such an internet thing, but when GeoCities was divided into places, you know, it was like GeoCities / Hollywood or GeoCities / mine was in Area 51 because that was for all the sci-fi. I was in a lot of Buffy related web rings. There were a lot of animated GIFs. I had an entire page that was just Sarah Michelle Gellar when she was a brunette. I don't know why, because I mean, she's naturally a brunette, and it was like Buffy, you know, natural.
Whoa.
Yeah, so Buffy and I go way back, and I have probably rewatched the series upwards of 10 or 15 times. It's very real.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like you and Jenny.
This is the only place I can be honest about that, and I'll be like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
This is
Fine.
a safe space.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a safe Buffy space. But that's kind of your relationship to the show, too.
I mean, I never had a GeoCities website about Buffy, but I wish that I had.
Do you think we can access that still?
I tried, because there are services where you can kind of track down like old websites, things that are sort of saved, and there are shells of the Digimon version, but the Buffy one I think is lost.
God,
is lost in the ether.
What a horrible loss.
It was just mostly photo galleries and my comments on them.
Right.
Like, great shirt, or Buffy looks good in baby blue.
Which
is
true. Buffy does look great
like
in
Giles
baby blue.
looking serious.
Also
what
true.
a hunk. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
This is, I mean, we're on one of the earliest episodes. I like that I got to come in on season 1 at the ground floor.
Yeah. This is my first watch through season 1, and some of the episodes I've remembered things, and this one was like blank slate. I didn't know anything. I was like, is Owen the anointed one? Like I was I was like in it, and the two of you were like knowing every detail, carrying the script to my house. You know what I mean?
You wish Owen was the anointed one.
Owen
guess
carrying
so.
on the time-honored tradition of the character that is introduced in the first 5 minutes of the episode like they've been in the show from the beginning.
Yeah.
Which happens all the time on Buffy where they're like, oh, so-and-so.
Yeah.
We're friends and have a relationship. And then they're just gone by the end of the episode, never to be heard from again.
Yeah, that threw me off because that moment when he walks in, everybody's like, "Oh, it's just Owen," and I was like, "Did I miss a thing?" But I didn't try. I don't know. I think because I didn't know anything that was happening in this episode, I really didn't trust anything, and I was like, "It must be Owen." Like, of course, Buffy would have a crush on the boy that is like actually the demon. You know.
Well, I mean, in another way, I suppose, but no, not this guy.
Right.
Not this guy.
One of the first things that I noticed in this episode was that I think that Buffy is getting better at fighting. Like not the character, but Sarah Michelle Gellar is like getting
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, she's getting because a couple episodes ago I was like, what is happening?
Well, I'm on a separate watch through with my boyfriend, and we're doing our fall revision. And we're into season 3 where she's gotten pretty competent. I mean, you can still really, really tell the stunt doubles, but she can run and like throw a punch.
Right.
And so going back and watching this one, which I only watched about a month ago, it's jarring.
Yeah. She has a lot to learn. But she did do a backflip. I mean, somebody did a backflip in this episode, which I think is the first time that we saw her like do an acrobatic move.
No, she does some nonsense stuff in the Harvest when they're fighting at the Bronze.
Oh, okay.
She does some goofy, unnecessary whatnots.
Flipping.
Too much
Twisting.
flipping.
Yeah.
But it is like slightly better than it was just a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Owen, great name. Did anybody else read Emily Dickinson in high school?
Oh my God. I did not.
No.
I did. And let me tell you what it does not get you. Small blonde cheerleader types.
In rewatching this, even a month ago, I remember it was like the memory was coming to me as I was watching it of Owen's Emily Dickinson thing. And as he started to say it, I was like, no, just no, like no boy who looks like that in high school is like, oh, by the way, I read really emotional women poets. Like, that did not happen. That unless he saw or read on the internet that, like, this will get you girls.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
Maybe
to
that's
me.
why I thought that he was the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something didn't add up.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it was, that I did not understand what was happening. And like, Buffy, get it together.
So my favorite thing, and I wrote it down for instances in this episode, is the fact that Owen he's cast as this dreamboat, right? Buffy's like head over heels for him. And I know that we're supposed to be like, Buffy, chill out. But first of all, their interaction is introduced when he basically accuses her of being illiterate. He's like, and not if he's not saying that specifically, he's like, oh, I didn't think you were smart. I didn't think you liked poetry. Later he comes back to be like, I didn't think you could tell time.
Oh my God. Here's how a watch works.
And then actually literally explains how a watch works.
It's incredible. There's like 3 instances in this episode where he basically insinuates that Buffy does not have a totally standard method of just dealing with the world, or like a totally standard piece of human interaction. And she's like, yeah.
What a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's blind. Like, she's blinded by the light.
Blinded by it. And I mean, I get it, because teenagers are nothing but horny, and I get that. But also, like, Buffy, come on.
I know you,
Come on.
right? But they push it really hard. They push it really hard. And she has this whole thing with Cordelia in this episode, which is really rough too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone, I think at this point knows I will cling to Cordelia as tightly as I can.
Why wouldn't you?
I didn't like the dynamic that was happening between them in this episode. Especially, there's a moment that was very upsetting in the cafeteria.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When
Yeah.
Buffy knocks into Cordelia and then is like, oh, I guess her hips are just really big.
Yeah, like literally a minute after she's like, does this dress make me look fat? They do
Yes.
away with that. I mean, that whole thing just kind of disappears
Yeah.
later in the season, but it was pretty cringeworthy.
Yeah, that was not a great thing. And as somebody like who is more familiar with the later seasons, I was like, did I miss this? So I didn't.
They're definitely still finding their feet in terms of the writing and the interactions, because yikes.
Yikes, part 2 is that fucking Fruit Punch Mouth is back. I'm so upset about it.
I really enjoyed your description of that, because his face is so bad.
It's the worst.
It's so
It
bad. He can't talk. There's so much makeup and prosthetics going on in his face that he can barely speak.
Also, the way he moves around is very bizarre. Like,
There's a great moment in this episode where he's got like one knee up on something, just leaning to tell his story, and it is insane.
Jenny has this thing with, what is it, like porous items that make her, like, if she sees like a pumice stone or like the inside of a pepper or a pumpkin.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. Do you want to explain what it does to your...
It's just terrible. It's just terrible. It makes my scalp tingle, and like it just makes me so unhappy.
Yeah, what I see in you when that happens is how I feel every time this character comes on. Like, it's like my body hates it. My body hates every minute of it.
My body hates it.
It's bad. Like, his whole face, his whole scene is just bad. The Master is just bad.
Yeah, it's
bad.
no redeeming qualities.
And I mean, I love him for being sort of the first villain, and he does get a lot of really funny lines. Like, the character is great.
Yeah.
I love the Master's character, but he is just a pickle to look at.
I also, for some reason, it makes me die laughing that he is still stuck in that bubble. Like,
for a long while after this, too.
It's just like, every time his little hand touches the thing, I'm like,
and it makes that little wibble wobble noise. It's great. I love his scene, his like house, because it's supposedly underneath a church. I feel like they make reference at some point to the Master's lair being under a church, because I don't think he's directly under the Hellmouth. I don't remember.
No, because
I should know this.
Later we find out exactly where the Hellmouth precisely is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it
No,
here, but
don't.
like we can talk about it later.
No.
But I believe what we know about the Master is at this point is that he was trying to open a gate, right, into a hell dimension, and he was in a church, right, and then the church sort of collapsed, or there was an earthquake at the time, some kind of vibe like
he's
that.
under a church, but it just physically just like doesn't make sense. And also, I mean, the church collapsed, but did he send people out for those candles? And like, what happens there? Like, how do people get in and out of it? Is there a staircase? Because
It's just he's trapped. Like everybody else
everyone
can
else
walk
can come
through
and
that
go.
force.
Yeah.
Which must be such a bummer.
And like, how did he? Like, he obviously has these minions.
Yeah.
Who I don't understand why they're his minions, because like he does nothing that would encourage
Minionhood?
servitude.
Yeah.
Minionhood. He's just mean,
How
and
does
he's
he-
trapped.
Does
They
he like
could
yell
just
out of the
leave.
hole? Like,
Right.
hey,
How did he
hey,
get them to
come
begin
be my
with?
servant.
Well, because he's promising them, right? He's promising them like eternity and a life of.
But he's been trapped underground for 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, have you ever heard of like cult leaders? You know, their reasonings are not that strong either, but you know, they have a certain something.
Yeah, there's definitely there's a follower mentality to the
Yeah.
vampires of Sunnydale. They're
Uh-huh,
always
uh-huh.
looking for leadership.
Right. That's
Always.
true.
Someone just has to step up to the plate and take it. And he
this-
kills them constantly.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
they go
always
down like
killing them.
flies.
Yeah, but they just always come back for more.
Yeah, sure.
They're like, please, can I kiss your ring? You know?
Guys, you
Right.
should really work for the master. You get to hang out in a dank church. He pays you nothing and you might die.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And he's stuck in a wibble wobble bubble.
But he's the best game going.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Also, I don't know if we're like going not chronologically or whatever, but the guy on the bus, you guys.
Yeah.
What is his
He's called Militia Man in the script.
militia man?
Really? Oh, that's good.
Thank God you brought that script. We know what to call people.
Yeah,
It's
would
really
never-
ussul.
I was
right?
gonna call him like the anointed non-anointed. That would have been my name for him because I was like, oh, he's
the unanointed one.
oh, nice.
It only really works on paper if you
Yeah.
say it out loud. It's exactly the same. Yeah, he is fantastic, and the stuff he says throughout the episode,
Oh my god.
pork and beans.
pork and beans, pork and beans. What is like he is singing. I feel him singing through me. His something. Oh, I wrote down one of my favorite things that he says is when he's talking about how everyone has sin, and then he says it's a liquid. What does that mean?
Yeah, I want to know who wrote just his thing.
Just his
They're
lines.
so funny.
They're great. Yeah, they're
just
great.
nuts.
Just
Yeah.
his whole character is really
He's
special.
absurd.
Yeah, I wish he hadn't been. I wish he was the anointed
I
one.
know. I thought. I mean,
Instead,
He
we
would be a
have
lot better.
fucking bowl cut.
oh, see, and I don't like. I
You don't know. You
I
don't
get
know.
the room sense that you both know more about the anointed than me.
Well,
'cause
I believe, I don't think it's a spoiler to say he's lovingly dubbed the annoying one
Oh,
by fans and characters alike.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, so you guys usually you go through this episode like in order, kind of, and
Ah,
break
we-
it down.
we
We
always
attempt
like,
to?
yeah, we
Jump,
always
yeah.
attempt to go in order,
Yeah.
and we don't. You know, there's like, I mean, I want to talk about obviously like some larger themes that happened in this episode. But
And I'm really interested in doing a Buffy fashion watch
yes.
because I am
Oh Lord, have
heavily
mercy.
invested in Buffy fashion.
Why don't we start? Why don't we start there?
Okay, because I have a few things I just really want to point out.
Please.
As like important moments and also other things to like watch for as you're watching this series. Because again, I know this show really well. Okay, first of all, Buffy is at her peak wispy bangs in this episode. They are so good. They're sometimes they're straight, sometimes they're curly, but they're all framing her face like perfectly.
Yeah.
They won't get in her way in battle. It's just a really good look. And Buffy has a lot of hair looks, but this is definitely one of my favorites. Also, this episode has one of my top favorite Buffy outfits of all time, which is her enormous puffy tiger print hoodie.
Oh my word.
That she wears. Yeah, I wrote it down and I also wrote, oh my God, just fuck me up. And like a bunch of hearts around it. 'Cause it is, the hood up. The hood up.
Yes.
It's so good. So this is like, this whole season, Buffy's entire look is like butterfly clips and mini dresses so short you could not bend over that she fights vampires in.
Yeah, you can't even like lean to the side in those
you
dresses.
You
They're
can't. It's
very
impossible. It's a kind of a good era, but my points for this episode in terms of fashion, because I know you want to know
Please.
what I care the most about, are Buffy's cheetah print jacket and also Cordelia's crimped hair.
You are my witnesses. I like squealed
Yeah.
when that happened. I was like, no, she didn't. She
Yeah.
crimped her hair. I already struggle to like hold the love I have for Cordelia. So when she goes and does something like that,
Plus,
Wow.
she's paired it with like that dark sheer black collared shirt that she's got tied into a midriff exposing situation.
yeah.
It's just so good. Cordelia has so many good looks in season 1. Buffy's pretty consistent. She's always wearing those brown boots. Always.
She loves them.
I think they could only afford one pair of boots on this show. They had to spend all the money on like sugar glass and breakable tables. So Buffy has one pair of boots. Anyway, that's my Buffy fashion watch.
Wow. Well, I'm 2 for 2 with you. Those were the only fashion notes I took were that cheetah hoodie that I would
Yes.
like to own.
It's so good.
She looks so cool in
She's
that
so
cheetah
cute in it because she's
hoodie.
so tiny, and with like those straight black legging pants she's got going on,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Oh, and the 90s for leggings, I'll tell you what. Oh, she has this great line in this episode, speaking of the 90s, where she's talking to, right? She's talking to Giles, and she's like, I can slay and have a social life. It's the 90s, the 1990s, in fact. A woman can do both.
It's
and I was
amazing.
like, nailed it, Buffy. Yeah. Which, like, I don't want to move us too quickly out of the fashion realm. Jenny, do you have any fashion?
There was just like this one light blue, vaguely tie-dyed looking shiny
Oh my god, I
tank
wrote that
top.
down too. It's like
Oh, the,
elastic sateen or something. And it's a crop top, but it has like an elastic band, so it's like
Yes.
cinched.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and it has like a
yes.
bullseye
Yeah,
print.
that's tie-dye,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I
that was
mean,
good too.
Buffy and Baby Blue.
Your
She
favorite.
looks great in Baby Blue.
Favorite. You should get back to that
Truly.
GeoCity site. Put that up there.
Oh, there was definitely a picture of that shirt somewhere on that website.
But yeah, since I brought up Giles and the slaying and the dating, that was the large arc that I wanted to talk about for a minute, because I know that like we're 5 episodes in, and the first 4 we sort of like got a little bit of a taste of the fact that Buffy lives this dual life. But this was really like I feel like we really got into it in this episode where she just wants to date and she can't, like her dates are ruined. And like Giles and her have this moment where he's like, you can't tell him what you are, which is one of the first times that we kind of like learn that she has to really conceal this, and that if she ever like wants to date somebody, she can't tell them about who she is. And it was like a really sad, heavy piece of the episode.
Well, yeah, because I mean, almost every other character introduced at this point finds out she's a vampire slayer almost right away. So, yeah.
She'll just have to date one of them.
Oh,
Xander is campaigning pretty hard.
Oh my God,
for a
this is-
certain candidate.
this is like peak horrible Xander.
It's
in this
really the
episode.
worst.
It's so grating, and I am not by any means a Xander apologist. I do not like Xander. And it's so funny because when the show was on, I loved him. You know, I was a teenager and he was a boy on TV. So like, whatever. I was definitely more in love with Willow, but you know, I would come to figure that out later. But Xander, he gets like a little bit okay in season 2. And then just like terrible again. But he is so bad in season 1.
Yeah.
This episode, every time Buffy's like mentions anything, he's like, what if you touched me? Have you considered my body? He's awful.
He's really very pouty and very and also viewing this episode with you, Kate, was a joy because
You just see me over in the corner.
yes,
shaking your head.
like you would like whisper under your breath, like, "Oh, Xander," like Every time he like did anything, and it was really enjoyable.
It's so fun. I can't stand him.
But he really was a nightmare this episode.
Yeah.
He did some really messed up stuff just beyond being an annoying, will you touch my body? He like slut shames Buffy. This was not good for Xander.
He did have one really great moment.
Oh yeah?
Where they're in the cafeteria and he asks Buffy how the slaying went, and she's like, Xander.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I mean, how'd the laying go? I'm just going to throw that out there because there's so much to be unhappy about that sometimes it's easy to forget the nice moments.
Yes. I'm glad that you gave us one shining moment from Xander. The rest of it was just a flaming train wreck.
Well, there's like that whole sequence where Buffy's getting dressed for her date, and he's like, I know.
Come on!
And she's like, which lipstick should I wear? And he says, for when you kiss him, and he tells the whole school and everyone loses respect for you.
Oh, yes. My Lord.
Xander, eat a bag of dicks. Like,
seriously.
What is that? It's not unrealistic for a teenage boy to say that. So,
Sure,
I buy it, but it's terrible.
But like, the fucking adjusting the mirror with his back to.
Yeah, he's trying to creep
on
on them.
I was confused.
He's adjusting the mirror because Buffy's changing, and he's trying to see her naked. Because he's a creep.
Yeah, he needs to get his shit together.
Yeah, he does.
He really does. Because you know what's frustrating is that like he's driving me crazy as a feminist, but also like is one of the Slayerettes and is like, supposed to be part of the team. So I have a lot of conflicted feelings because as the Slayerettes, they were pretty present this episode. They ran, they found Giles, they got Buffy, they distracted Owen, like they were hard at work. And I want to just be like, yeah, Xander, great job. But then he's got this whole thing going on where he can't get his act together and he treats Buffy.
It's bad. And you're right. I mean, the Slayerette moments in this episode are great. And Willow's there, Xander's there, they're doing it, they're getting involved. They're showing us how important they are.
They are. They're doing a great job.
And in those moments, they're great. But Xander.
Yeah. I guess if there's two versions of everyone that knows about the slaying, I'm okay with Slayerette Xander. I'm not okay with person Xander.
Yeah.
I'm drawing the line there. He really pissed me off this episode.
Yeah. Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. And if you have sensitive skin, you're going to want to hear about their scientifically proven topical supplements. Free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make skin red, irritated, or itchy, their products are safe for sensitive skin. It's just one of the reasons they've earned the skin-safe seal of approval.
They've also earned the Jenny Owen Youngs and Kristen Russo seal of approval, if I do say so myself, Jenny.
I couldn't agree more. I've been using OneSkin for a few months, and after a few weeks, I remember it like it was yesterday. I texted Kristen, and I was like, maybe she's born with it. I looked in the mirror that morning and was like, oh, things are happening, and I am happy.
I have used a million billion skin products, and I did not think that I was going to switch off of the skin like lotion, the moisturizer that I used and the under eye cream that I use, because I have used them for a little while and I really like them. And I've switched completely, which is a pretty big deal. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and if you can, please tell them that we sent you.
As a podcast network, our focus is bringing you shows you love to listen to. But we also sell merch related to those shows. And partnering with Shopify has made that both possible and simple for us to do. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor adventures, Shopify helps you sell everywhere because they've got you covered, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. What's so fantastic about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, they provide everything you need to get control of your business so you can take it to the next level. Businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Oh, there was another thing I wanted to point out for your future viewing, because I noticed it. Listen, I'm setting a lot of stuff up. Okay, so in this episode, Buffy goes into the Bronze, and there's a sign outside that says DJ Night No Cover. And there is a girl facing the sign wearing what I believe are sparkly lame magenta bell-bottoms. They use that shot, or the shot before it, as like a B-roll multiple times in season 1.
Oh man.
And it's great because there's at least once where they'll be like, oh, we're going to the Bronze tonight. There's a band playing. And then the establishing shot, you can see this girl in her magenta pants and it says DJ Night No Cover.
Wow.
And it happens, I'm pretty sure, at least 2 or 3 times. So just keep a weather eye out for
Did you
that.
discover that on your own? Like,
Yeah. In the recent rewatch, because we watched a bunch of them in one night, and I was like, wait, it's not DJ Night. There's a band player. It's like the one where Chibo Mato shows up or whatever. Not to spoil that, sorry. But I believe there's a shot and it's like DJ Night No Cover. But the pants are so noticeable, and I believe she's wearing like a featherly white sweater as well.
Gosh.
Just you would think they would use a less noticeable extra, but
Although, like, as an extra, do you just get paid for the one shot, or do you get like?
Oh, you're not getting paid anymore when they reuse it. No, you only get like the
man.
day rate usually.
That girl somewhere is real annoyed about that. They took advantage of her shot.
It's a great establishing shot.
So Kate, you said you had speaking of sexual tension, we forgot, but we're not forgetting this episode.
Hell no.
You said you have some nominees.
Okay, so I have my sexual tension is sexual tension and gayest moment separate?
I don't know.
There's a really great moment when Cordelia comes up to harass Buffy and Owen because they're dancing together. And she's like, oh, you came here alone, which is such a good burn. Such a good burn. And then Buffy's like, we want to be alone now, and does that like swing around him, which was very sexual.
Yeah.
And then Cordelia's like, fine. And she winks and half sticks out her tongue at Buffy. And it goes by so fast, but it's just like, hey. And it blows my mind every time because it looks like absolutely like she's like, catch you later, Buffy. Maybe that's me reading too much into it. It probably is, but it's a great little cutaway shot. So that's a great moment. I do think, the most tension is probably Angel and Owen.
Seriously.
Kissing contest over
so
Buffy.
much smoldering.
It's nuts. That part is ridiculous.
I'm still trying to, I'm trying to pretend like I'm in the conversation, but you see, I didn't see the wink from Cordelia, so I'm reeling over here that happened and I missed it.
It's so fast, so it probably doesn't even count, but I do look forward to it every time.
It counts. It counts, Kate.
She's got that crimped hair going on. She's just looking so choice.
But you are our guest, and you are going to give it to the boys.
For the tension, I would say probably. Mm-hmm. You could do it for. Xander doesn't deserve, because it's not tension when it's Xander. It's sad. It's sad. But there is a lot of when he does that, because Angel shows up, and there has to be that awkward introduction because Buffy's on a date with Owen. I like how she goes, moment. I'm here on a date with him. Which is cool that she stands up for her dude and isn't like, oh, hey, Angel, here's some guy.
Right.
I liked that. That's a nice moment. But when he's like, I know her from work.
Oh, my God.
Also,
and you know her from work? There's a great, their attention is great.
Yeah.
The way that he said that, the way that Angel says, hey.
Yeah.
To Owen. When they're introduced.
It's so good.
Angel's whole situation in that moment is my favorite.
And then when Buffy pulls Owen aside to be like, listen, there are two me's, and part of me has to go, and part of me wants to stay. And Angel is framed between them, and he's just like so intensely watching every moment.
Oh, he's just like a blurry, jealous Angel.
He's just so horny for it. And it's amazing.
God, I love a jealous Angel. I
Yes.
love a jealous Angel.
That's peak Angel.
You guys were talking about it because I listened to the podcast.
Great.
In, I think, the Witch episode, you were talking about how Angel is never this good again. And I completely agree. Season 1 Angel is like, he's funnier, he's weirder, he's got more of a personality. He doesn't spend all his time whining. He does a little bit. But he gets some really good, funny, and good character moments in season 1.
Yeah.
I like season 1 Angel.
I mean, he's so mysterious and odd.
Because they don't know much about him yet at this point, right? No.
Don't know anything.
Don't know
except that he's-
anything.
Yeah, nothing. We only
Good to
learned
look
his
at.
name like 2 episodes ago. He only
Angel.
smiled for the first time last episode.
Yeah. And in this one, you learn that he's so into Buffy.
Yeah, it's
so
been like
into it.
brewing. But yeah, this episode he's definitely like, I wanted this, and now, I mean, really, God, it's like every guy at the bar is the Bronze a bar. I just made it a bar.
I do not understand that. I have never understood it because an establishment like the Bronze never existed anywhere where I grew up.
Yeah.
Because I know it's different in the States where sometimes they do like wet dry bars, stuff like that, where you can go in if you're underage and not drink. I know it's not super common, but it exists. But that's like not a thing where I come from. You can only go to the bar if you are 19 or older because 19 is our drinking age.
Wow,
Yeah,
19.
We're evolved.
Canada.
It's great. Or in Quebec, it's 18. So get buck wild. But yeah, so I would watch the Bronze and be like, how are they there? Like, you couldn't, there's nowhere in Canada that you could just go to a bar when you're 17 and like order a cappuccino. Like that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Because it
also-
is a bar, because they get drunk there later, and
Yeah,
there
yeah.
is beer.
Right. And plus, like, I mean, I don't think my high school, like, I don't think when I was in high school, we hung out like that. Like,
Yeah.
we would go to coffee shops sometimes, but we were never, like, going home and getting ready to go out and then, like, going out to a club.
Yeah,
or
that doesn't, and how are they paying for this? They're in high
Yeah.
school. None of them
Well, it's
have
DJ night.
jobs.
There's no cover.
That's true. There is no cover. But also, this, again, actually, literally in this episode, it says DJ Night, no cover, and there is a band playing.
Oh my God, I totally didn't even put that together.
It's true. I
Like
didn't
a
remember
DJ
it
night.
because I wrote down about the singer most 90s outfit. Because she has incredibly straight, center-parted black hair, that cheetah print mini dress, and a long black leather trench coat, and super dark
Yes.
lips.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's
yes.
she's really going for it too.
Yeah.
She's pulling out a lot of the like Kristen Russo lip sync moves
my
during her
word.
performance. It's very. Do we know who that is?
Yeah, that band is called Velvet Chain.
Oh, very God, 90s.
Super 90s
So
name.
good.
And
So good.
she just looks like Beth Gibbons from Portishead, but like she looks like a person who is way too like bubbly in life to be Beth Gibbons. Trying to like do a Beth Gibbons impression, but like moving in a more sort of like animated, like way bigger bends are happening than you would ever see,
Yeah.
you know, in Portishead.
Yeah, she's going for it.
I love that they always have bands at the Bronze that are like background music. Like they very rarely have a band that is like a rock band.
Right.
If people come in and play really soft, sad acoustic songs. Well, like, but not acoustic. You know what I mean? It's like a very particular genre that Joss was probably really into.
Yeah.
And like that no one really seems to know how to dance to.
Yeah.
Oh
well, it's
my
like,
God, no.
Like Chibo Mato shows up, and like, how do you dance? Like with a anyway, it's
Yeah.
great. It's
With
I
a
love
slow
it.
shoulder.
Like a really slow shoulder roll. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Buffy is Sarah Michelle Gellar can rock a shoulder roll. That is like her signature dance move.
You know what I'm not looking forward to is just like thinking about all of the dancing that I know I'm going to see Sarah Michelle Gellar do, and thinking about how I was feeling when we were watching the cheerleaders do their synchronized cheer, which, so you know, makes me very uncomfortable.
I heard that, and that was not what I was expecting. I was expecting like, oh, it gives me like happy tingles.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
But
I don't
no,
know.
it makes you very uncomfortable.
I'm not just one thing.
That's
Kate,
cool.
I'm multi-layered.
As Cordelia says, what? I can't have layers? Not in this episode,
Kate.
but later on.
Stay forever, Kate. Stay forever.
I think it's in season 3 when they're talking about the SATs are coming up, and she's like, I'm excited, I test well, and everyone stares at her. She says, what? I can't have layers? It's great.
Bless her sweet crimped hair.
I love Cordelia, and it has been such a gradually accumulating and forming love, because obviously when I was a teen watching Buffy, I hated Cordelia.
Right, of course.
She was the antagonist, you know. I wasn't cool in high school, big surprise. But
your GeoCities sites didn't bring you to the top.
Unfortunately, it wasn't like Emily Dickinson. I couldn't just bring that to the library and pick up all the hot girls. But so I hated Cordelia, and then, you know, when I rewatched it in college, I had sympathy for her because she goes through a lot. You know, she has quite a, but you know, my feelings about it now are that up until on the duration of her time on the show, on her tenure, I think she has, next to Buffy, the best character arc. Like what she starts from and who she becomes and what she goes through.
For sure.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Good thing there's a song for this part.
Cordelia, I love you, Cordelia. You're perfect, Cordelia.
I love this song.
I said it so we like put it up. In case you don't know, the go ahead, tell them, Jenny. Tell them.
We should let you know that beautiful Cordelia appreciation jingle that you just heard is available for iPhone users in your iTunes store as a ringtone or
ad. That's what I was gonna say. Somebody on Twitter said, I bought this, but not for a ringtone. I bought it for my alarm.
What a way to wake up.
And I woke this very morning, I woke up to Cordelia. I was so excited. Jenny was like passed out, and I was like, good morning. I'm ready to go.
That is such a good idea that I am going to adopt immediately.
It's a beautiful thing to wake up to in the morning.
So good.
It's really, really fun.
She is so good. I mean, I love Willow, and I don't love Xander, but Willow doesn't get a lot to do until she kind of starts getting into other things and like exploring herself a little bit more. But Cordelia, man, she goes through so much.
Yeah, Willow is really like hacker Willow at this point.
Yeah.
Anybody needs the internet, they go to Willow. She knows what's up. Willow, not to jump back into fashion, but like Willow's braids were on point this episode.
They're great. She has, Allison Hannigan at that point in her life had the sleekest hair
of
any human.
Right?
Just so smooth.
Yeah.
Just like a silk sheet.
Like
an
Pantene
auburn
pouring
panther
from her head.
Like the difference between you and I, Jenny, in that
What did you
moment.
say?
I was about to say like a Pantene commercial, and you said what?
Like an auburn panther.
See, I thought you had said like an aubergine, and I was trying to parse that.
Wait, is that an eggplant?
Yes, it is. I guess
Which
they're
is sleek.
smooth.
Yeah, they're shiny.
Cool, yeah, sure, for sure.
I don't know if I've ever said aubergine. Ever.
Well, now you have.
Owen's fucking pocket watch.
Oh my god.
What are you doing?
And also the setup of the pocket watch, and then the completely non-explained, non-sequential shot of Xander's watch.
Well, it's great because he's like, oh, I'm not as good as him because I have this watch. But like, at least you're not the douchebag who has a pocket watch in high school. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't trust that guy. He doesn't add up.
No.
That is just not an accessory that you want in high school.
You know what an accessory that you do want in high school is, though? A beeper.
Yes. Oh, Buffy's
Wow.
beeper, which comes back, a number of times in season 1 and then is like never, I think, spoken of again. I can't remember.
God. They just had some really nice close-ups of the beeper in this episode that made me happy.
Oh my word.
So
Did
great.
you both have beepers?
No,
course.
I think
What?
I was.
Were you aged
I think I was a
out?
little young because I think my first like technology that I had, I didn't have a beeper. My dad had a beeper. Like a lot of people I knew, but I think I was too young. by a couple years because my first technology was one of those Nokia brick like cell phones that could only
you could play Snake on
you
that.
could play Snake on it. And I had that in like my last year of high school, and it was like I wasn't allowed to take it to school, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, so you were a little bit behind us. Well, did you have a beeper, Jenny?
Hell yes.
Yeah. My best friend had 2 beepers.
What?
Yeah.
Like in Clueless.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, what was the purpose in Clueless and what was the purpose in your life?
He didn't have a purpose, but he used to joke about it. Like he would be like, "Oh, this one's for the ladies to call me, and this one's for the
Wow.
He was gay, so it was
okay.
okay. It wasn't
Instantly forgiven.
Yeah, right.
What a roller coaster I just went on.
Wait, so meanwhile,
Giles
and his death newspapers, always with a death newspaper, Giles is.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, because you had like a visceral reaction when Giles pulled up to the funeral home in his car.
Oh,
you like jumped out of your seat and then sat back down.
God, because the Sunnydale Funeral Home sign, their slogan is "We'll take care of the rest."
What? Yeah.
So good. It's pretty great.
That's brilliant.
You guys, I don't know how I've never like taken strong note of this before, but in this episode we learned that Giles comes from a line of watchers. His dad and his dad's mom were watchers.
Oh, yeah.
And his dad sat him down when he was 10 and told him what his destiny was going to be. And he wanted to be a fighter pilot.
He wanted to be a fighter pilot.
Or perhaps a grocer.
Mm-hmm. Giles and Buffy in this moment.
It's really sweet. And she's so worried when she's like, I could have gotten you.
Yeah. And also like he's shown a little bit of like sympathy for the fact, like, I mean, when the whole cheerleading thing happened, you know, he was like rolling his eyes, but also like, you know, Buffy, sorry, but this is your life and it's going to be hard to have a social life. But I feel like it's, I don't know, the moment when like Owen says to her, well, I really want to do that again because I want to be near the danger. That like broke my heart into 400 pieces because it was just like this moment for her where she was like, oh, right. Like as much as I want a normal life, I won't ever be able to have it. And like she keeps seeking it. Like she wants to be on the cheerleader team and she wants to go on dates and she can't. Like no matter what she does, she can't. She is the Slayer and she has to carry this weight. And so to have like her and Giles have this moment where he's just like, you know, on some level, I've had to make these sacrifices too. And like I can be here with you and it sucks. Like, I feel like that's kind of the moment they have where he's like, it sucks, but like, it's going to be okay. She's like,
it's a really sweet exchange. You know, especially they start the episode pretty antagonistic towards each other. And I love their moments together. They're really sweet.
And then, you know, right when our hearts are full of a sweet moment, we have to go back to the worst place in the world. You know? Like, can't they give me a minute in the show to have a moment without that mouth?
Head back on down to the snake hole.
All right. Something that we haven't done yet, Jenny, is we haven't said the word.
The
patriarchy! Okay, yeah. All right.
I can't believe it didn't naturally put that in there.
I know. I mean, I don't want to force it, but we've made a commitment. So you are our first guest ever. And we have something for you because you are our first guest. So maybe close your eyes and I'll get it.
Okay. All right, wow. I'm going to do it.
Kate looked at me like maybe I was just pretending to tell her to close her eyes.
Do I lie?
Reach out your left hand.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay. What is this?
This is your gift as our first guest ever. You can open them now. Yeah, you can open them. It's upside down.
Oh my God.
Wow. This is a great moment of suspense for our listeners. What is it?
They're small, sexy.
They sure
they're
are.
small. They're small, sexy. Go ahead, tell them, Kate. What?
Well, they're deluxe custom vampire fangs, Kristen. That's what they are.
Tell them what you've won.
God, I almost buy these every Halloween.
Well, so
I tried to order these when I was in high school because Canada, we don't have anything. We're deprived of vampire fangs. You don't know what it's like up there. But my cheeks hurt. I'm smiling so much right now. The picture on this box is a lady, and she's obviously wearing the Scarecrow vampire fangs.
Yes,
Love these fonts, by the way. Just dying over these fonts. Spared no expense on fonts. She's like got fire coming off of her tongue, bedroom eyes. I believe she has a tattoo. Scandal.
she's pretty scandalous.
I also don't know if you've noticed in the bottom right-hand corner where it says Made in USA that the flag is shaped like a pair of fangs with a blood drop coming off.
I did not.
So
I did not.
Wow.
We
small, sexy, deluxe vampire fangs.
And Jenny and I have our own. We have a set each.
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course.
So
Of course you do.
the three of us now can be vampires whenever we want.
I'm just like, this is the greatest. This is the best thing. I'm so pleased. These will go to good use.
I'm so glad.
That is so
They
great.
will. You guys, you're too good to me. You're too good to me. Yay.
I want to watch every episode with you just because it's fun to watch with
I'm
you.
around.
But I really want it because I love the Xander whisper. It's something that I'm gonna I feel like I'm gonna hear it even when you're not there. You know?
My boyfriend has gotten
Totally.
used to it, but he will occasionally side look at me when he's just like, "Oh my God, Xander! Oh my God, Xander, shut up! Oh my God, I hate you, Xander." It's bad. I would love to come back at some point. I know you have a lot of very esteemed people, and I am excited to listen to it. But this has been an absolute joy.
I mean, I'm speaking for both of us. Love to have you back.
I can't wait to do
Absolutely.
the entire next episode wearing my small, sexy.
Yes. The next time that you're on, we should all wear our
My
fangs
opinions
for-
on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Wow. Kate, everyone listening has fallen in love with you. Where can they find your work and your person on the internet?
A lot of different places.
Yes.
The hub is kateleth.com. My last name's Leth, because no one ever knows how to spell it for some reason, even though it's only 4 letters. My Twitter's Kate Leth. My Instagram's Kate Leth. I'm on Patreon, where you can read my sad comics about my feelings if you want, which is also patreon.com/Kate Leth. It's all, you just look up my name.
Just Google some Kate Leth.
It's pretty straightforward. I write Hellcat for Marvel. I do that too.
Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, and that's kind of my jam.
So many cool things.
It's fun, and I talk about Buffy a lot here and elsewhere.
God, and we have to remember to get a picture of your Mr. Pointy tattoo.
Your Mr. Pointy tattoo and the amazing drawing that you made while we were watching.
yes. While viewing Kate's
And I gotta tell you
sketch.
that I was actually wearing a Buffy t-shirt earlier today, and I changed out of it because I thought it was too much.
Oh, never too much.
My mom bought me a really great Sunnydale High Slayers Club
Nice.
t-shirt.
What?
Yeah.
We need to get some Buffy t-shirts in this family.
Agree.
Oh man, there's
Why
so
don't we
many good
have
ones out there. I
any?
have a great one that's got Spike, Buffy, and Willow on it, and it says "Demons, Darkness, Dangerous Women." And I've had it for 9 years, and I only wear it on special occasions because it's
It's like falling apart.
it's like falling apart.
Yeah.
But it's so special to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dangerous. They were like, what should the third D be?
Yeah, and I love that the characters on it are Spike, Buffy, and Willow.
Right.
Like, what a weird assortment of characters. Great.
But yes, please come back.
I would love to.
Come back.
I would love to.
That would be ideal. Thanks so much for joining us this week. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs, and when I'm not watching Buffy, I'm usually writing and recording songs. You can learn more about me at jennyowenyoungs.com, and you can give me a shout on Twitter at jennyowenyoungs.
I'm Kristen, and you can find my personal chatter and feminist rants over on Twitter at Kristen Noeline, KRISTINNOELINE. When I'm not podcasting, I work to bring advice, resources, and laughter to LGBTQ young people and their families over at everyoneisgay.com and mykidisgay.com.
Buffering the Vampire Slayer is on Twitter at BufferingCast and on Facebook at facebook.com/BufferingCast. So join us there.
And if you like what we do, you can now support us over on bufferingthevampireslayer.com by clicking on the donate button. Also, exciting news, because we all love her so much and her credentials are so solidly honed, Kate will be back on many future episodes doing installments of Buffy Fashion Watch. Hell yes.
Oh, and just one more thing. No big deal, but we were featured in Entertainment Weekly this week.
Oh, yeah. No big deal.
If there's still a copy of last week's Entertainment Weekly on your newsstand, snag it. We're like on the second page.
Yeah, we're like a must-have. What are we called? A must-watch. A must.
We're on the must list.
Oh, it's just a must. The must.
The must.
You must.
It's a
and you
command.
are. So good work.
Yes. So until next time, Kate, will you join us
Yeah,
in
will you
Howling
howl
Like
with
a
us?
Wolf?
Oh, yeah, there's a howling situation. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
Ooh. Okay, I think that was great.
Nice. I really felt your extra ooh, you know.
I really got into that. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It seems like I can't go a week without some ancient prophecy tripping me up. Xander, shut up. Thought I might get to have some fun, but now there's this anointed one threatening to rise from the ashes of 5. And I know I should stay focused and the world depends on me. But who can think about that stuff when a cute boy's reading poetry? Being chosen is a thing that's easy to hate, but I know who I am and I know it's my fate. You might be a slayer if you can relate. It's hard to never kill a boy on the first date. Never kill a boy on the first date. Cordelia, you're no threat to me, but angels looking jealously at oh and oh no. The secrets they grow. The gang's all here, we have to go to the most romantic funeral home where Giles is trapped. With guilt, I am racked, and I know he's not my dad, but he still looks after me, which is nice since no one's seen my mom since back in episode 3. Being chosen is a thing that's easy to hate, but I know who I am and I know it's my fate. You might be a slayer if you can relate. It's hard to never kill a boy on the first date. Never kill a boy on the first date. By the way, I'll wear whatever I want, and Xander, it's uncool to try to slut shame all your friends just because they won't go out with you. Ooh, ooh. Being chosen is a thing that's easy to hate, but I know who I am and I know it's my fate. You might be a slayer if you can relate. It's hard to never kill a boy on the first date. Never kill a boy on the first date.
Hi, I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life. I talked to acclaimed director and executive producer Roland Emmerich.
When I saw the first race, I was like giddy.
Actor Ewan Ryan.
For an actor, that's a dream, although you do get a lot of sand in your sandals.
And so many more.
You helped summon those ghosts back onto that stage.
Every day when I went to set, I was giggling about what I saw.
I think it's going to be a breathtaking thing.
Gosh, people will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what lies within nothing?
No.
Do you know where it ends? Do you want to know?
Yes. Counterbalance, a high fantasy audio drama. Season 2, coming 15th of October 2023. Learn more on trilunas.com.